My name is Leighton Paul Walsh, aka Walshy Fire, the MC for Major Lazer.
Watch out for this, the maddest lyrics. Mash up the place, but you are not for this. Yo, me nah miss number one funny list. The girl them a twist waistline can't resist. Hey, sound turn up inna the place, so me God say me in ya. When good music a play, so me God say me in ya.
Perfect. So, what is your inspiration behind the name Walshy Fire?
Alright, well, like I just said, Walsh is my actual last name.
Yeah.
And then, when you grow up in the Caribbean or in most places, you get a nickname. And so Walshy Fire was just the nickname. Everybody just called me by my last name, Walshy. And so Walshy Fire is what it turned out to be. But Sean Paul actually gave me that name.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
nice.
Sean Paul actually gave me that name.
So tell me about your career path. How did you become a music producer?
Well, I started as a music fan, going to clubs, listening to radio. I used to sell tapes, cassette tapes, in the streets. So in Miami, I used to sell cassette tapes of my favorite radio programs and my favorite live DJ sets. And I realized that my passion was beyond just being a fan. I was just like, man, I want to be on the other side. So I went from selling tapes to MCing for like the local DJs, just kind of, hey, can I grab the microphone thing, But everybody knew me because I was out in the street selling tapes, so the DJs would give me their mixes.
Yeah.
So when they would DJ, I would say, hey, let me get on the mic for you. So it wasn't like a random guy like, yo, you know what I'm saying? It was like, all right, what you gonna do? All right, cool. And I ended up being pretty good at it. But I didn't take it seriously. I still thought maybe the most I would get is some girls and some jerk chicken at the end of the night, nothing too serious. But as the years kept going, I realized that people kept telling me, like, you're really good at it. So I kept going with it. Then I felt like if I wanted to take it to the next level, I should go and become a DJ, because I was just MCing, I wasn't actually DJing. So I started buying records. And that is when I realized how difficult actual DJing was then, because you have to spend hours and hours digging through crates, but you love it because you find something, and it's just like, oh my God, I can't believe I found this record and I can't wait to go play it. And so you would end up getting all these bootlegs and all this stuff. So I ended up I moved to New York.
Yeah.
Because I felt like New York had the best DJs in the world. And if I wanted to be a DJ, I had to be amongst the best DJs in the world. So I moved to New York. I ended up working at a record shop called Beat Street. Met everybody in the industry. And then winter came and I was like, hell no. I'm too Miami. I'm too Jamaican. I'm too Caribbean. And I moved out of New York. But it was a great experience because it gave me a foot above everybody else when I went back to Miami. So when I went back to Miami, it was just no joke. It was all seriousness. I took it as a career. I started printing up cards and making mixes myself and just took it dead serious, And then I joined a sound called Black Chiney, which is a Grammy-winning sound system in Miami. And then I was at a festival called Marley Fest, Bob Marley Festival. And I met Diplo backstage for the first time. And he was like, yo, I'm a big fan. His energy's up. He's like, yo, I'm a big fan of Black Chiney, man. Yo, Black Chiney, I love him. Yo, man, you guys are killing the game. Yo, blah, blah, blah. He was going on, and I was like, man, I don't really even know who this guy is, But he was so enthusiastic, and he was so knowledgeable about dancehall, about dancehall remixes, that we just connected immediately. And then, like, maybe a year later, he was like, man, would it be cool if you became the MC for Major Lazer? And I was like, yeah, definitely, man. I wouldn't mind, because I had been doing what I was doing for a long time, so I wanted something new. And from the first show in San Francisco, it just connected, and it's been that ever since.
So you belong to Major Lazer crew. Can you tell us more about your collaboration?
Oh, what do you mean collaboration? You mean with the three of us?
Yes.
In the group? All right, well, I'm the MC. Diplo produces and mixes, and Jillionaire does some of the mixing as well as produces, and I produce well too. So we all do similar stuff, you know. But for the most part, I'm the MC of the group.
All right. So how does it feel when one of the biggest DJs in the world, Diplo, suggests you to collaborate?
Like I just said, man, you know, when he asked me, I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
So it wasn't it wasn't really anything, you know. It was just like, yo, he's a cool guy. I didn't realize how big he was, you know, because I was really into dancehall music and reggae, really into that, and soca music. I was really into that, and some compa and zouk, but Caribbean music was where I was at. And so when he asked me, I just was like, cool, you know. I didn't really think 2 years down the line it would be this big, you know, movement. I just thought it was a good opportunity to do something different with a guy that I thought was really cool. So I didn't really, you know, it wasn't really like, you know, I wasn't really like, yeah. Nah, it was just cool. I was just like, cool, yeah, man, cool.
So you are free to produce and perform and sing. How are you organize your work? Maybe does each of you have particular skills? You
Yeah,
are
man.
MC?
Right. But also as far as the production, I'm the one that will be the liaison between the artist and Diplo. So I go to Jamaica and I'll talk to all the artists and I'll say, you know, here's the beats, and I'll go to the studio and I'll get the work done, and then I send it back to him. So, you know, that's my major role as far as production, is connecting the dots with the artists and things like that.
Yeah, the link.
The link, not a link.
Yeah, matrix.
Yeah, not a link and not a matrix, yeah.
Yes. You're producing African beats, sometimes sounds like dancehall music. The public is in love with this. How do you explain this success with this kind of beats? So because most of the time the other famous DJs producing dark beats, you know?
Oh, okay, I see what
You
you're saying.
have something like Sunshine or...
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. I mean, not to say sunshine, but fun, happy.
Yeah.
You realize that people have lives that maybe aren't that happy, and so when they come to your show or they come to see you DJ, they want to be happy. They want to have fun, and so I think that's the idea behind some of the sounds. It's just going, you know, what's going to make the people go fucking crazy.
How are you choosing the artist you will collaborate? For example, musicians, Flexicans, FS Green or Beyonce?
Well, Busy Signal, that is just an anomaly. It's like you never know who's gonna rip a beat up, and Busy Signal just ripped that beat up. He's actually probably one of the more consistent, awesome artists, you know. But you never really know. You just kind of, you hear it and then you say, yo, you know who would sound good on this? And then you call them up and then they try, and then sometimes it doesn't work out. So you just keep trying and keep trying. But sometimes they nail it the first time. The first time it's just like, whoa, that's good. So there's no real technique, you know. There's no real technique to it. You just keep trying and you just don't give up until you like it. When you like it, then you can kind of, you know, say, all right, well, let me go play it now and see if the people like it. But usually you're in tune with the people enough to know what they would like, you know. And Beyonce was not, she did not link, you know, us. She just did her own thing, and, you know, we're glad that she used the sample. But big up Beyonce. I see you out there, Beyonce. And big up Bad Gal Riri. Yeah, Rihanna, I see you. I see you Instagramming again. I like that. Do it, girl.
So, are there some artists inspiring you at this moment?
Oh, so many, man. Stromae.
Stromae,
Yeah, man,
yes, French
Stromae.
artist.
So good. Stromae is just so good. His live show is so good. And his music is good. The music is excellent. But right now I'm being inspired by his live show. His live show is just so energetic and it's so engaging. And so I want to help create the Major Lazer show to be just as engaging and just as energetic and, you know, emotionally, you know, a roller coaster, which is what I see Stromae do. You know, I'm inspired by many artists, too many to name, you know, so many, man. Chronics, Jesse Royal, just inspired by all of them because of their wisdom. Like Chronics and Jesse Royal, they speak so intelligently. When you hear them speak and reason and what they say, you actually leave with information. You leave with knowledge. You leave a better person when you walk away from these people, you know. And you're just inspired. And, you know, also fashion-wise, I'm inspired. I'm inspired by a clothing company called Daily Paper in Amsterdam. They just remind me so much of when I was growing up in Jamaica and this kind of like modern rude boy style, you know. So, you know, it comes from everywhere. Filling Pieces in Amsterdam, also a shoe company. I watch what they do and it reminds me of some old designs that I used to see like the big drug dealers wear back in the day, and now they're bringing it back. And, you know, so inspiration comes from everywhere. You're inspiring me. These pants right now and the patterns on them are very cool. They're cool.
So can you explain to our readers the moon baton? Sorry for the pronunciation.
No, man. That was pretty good. Moon baton is another thing I barely do. You know, we do it every now and then. But basically it's a Latin influenced music that some people will probably agree with me when I say started in reggaeton.
Yeah.
You know, which is your basic that kind of a thing, and then, you know, they were able to add newer sounds to it and add elements to it and actually not always have a reggae or Latin vocal on it, you know, and so then it just became moon baton, where you can kind of get that same beat, newer elements, newer sounds, newer vocals, more international vocals, and but you know, the same party energy, the same fun energy. You're gonna dance, you're gonna whine on a girl, you know, and have a good time.
Yeah. So you are playing all around the world every year. Where was the place at the best vibe and memories?
Oh man, you know, I should have an answer to this question. That's so easy.
So easy.
I always get answered this question. We always get answered this question. But it's such a difficult question to answer because everywhere you play is special. Everywhere you play had something about it that you just honestly look at the crowd after you're finished and say that was the best crowd I've ever had. But you know in your mind that every crowd had that moment, so you know you're lying to yourself. You know, every crowd was the best crowd. We've done shows for 100 people, and those were some great shows. You know, we did a show for BBC in London that was up in this like attic. It was a little bar, tiny bar, no bigger than this room. You know, and me and Diplo just crushed it. We had such a good time. And then of course we've done shows for like 70,000 people, like Poco Pop and Eurocan, and some big shows, you know. And those shows are just as important and mean just as much, man. You know, for me, probably personally, Kenya was one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kenya in Africa, because it was in a tree house.
Mm-hmm.
And people were jumping, and so the tree house started to shake, and then they had to finish the show because the floor was going to fall through. Too many people and too much jumping. So it's a memorable night, you know. One of the best nights. It was my first time in Africa too, so that meant a lot to me, you know, as a African descendant.
So tell me, what is your upcoming projects or your next show and artistic collaboration?
Well, first I just did an Afrobeat song called Follow Me, I Coco, with the same guy I mentioned earlier, Juicy Demento, and I really want to tell everybody, go to my SoundCloud, which is soundcloud.com/Walshy Fire, yeah? And go check that song out. I've done another remix with a Mr. Vegas called Road. Me and him always collaborate on stuff. As well as, you know what you guys should look out for? My next Major Lazer mix CD. It's dropping in January.
Yeah.
You're gonna like it a lot. I actually think, because the last one got over 1 million plays on SoundCloud, and I think this one is gonna beat that one. I think this is gonna be the most important mix of your 2015.
Perfect.
Perfecto.
Perfecto.
So please, suale, to SoundCloud Major Lazer and go get that, please.
Please.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much. Maybe you have got to check, no? A personal check?
Yes.
Can
definitely.
you learn me?
Yeah, definitely. This is the Jamaican way, okay? So everybody out there, if you meet a Jamaican, first thing you do is you go like this and then give me a thumb. And you go like that. There you go.
Yes.
Alright, now you got it. Let's do it again. Now normal. Yo, Fatia, wagwan, yeah man. Wagwan, yo. Yeah, you got it mad normal, right? Yeah.
Perfect.
So that's it. That's the Jamaican way to do it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's very a pleasure to meet you. You're a good, positive person.
Yeah man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate